401k.
What's a budget?
How does a 401k run?
Yes, you get extra money.
Yeah.
That's totally important.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to Tuesdays with Trey. I have my guest Dave Turin from Gold Rush. How are you doing today, Dave?
Trey, thanks for having me. This is a great place to be, isn't it?
Yeah,
Have you ever done an interview out in the woods
no,
next to a stream?
not at all.
No, isn't it cool?
Yeah,
So this is my place, man. I spent a lot of time out in the woods. It's one of my favorite places to be. And when we get through with this interview, you want to do some panning?
yeah,
Find some gold?
yep.
All right. Okay, what kind of questions you got for me today?
So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Oregon, right at the base of Mount Hood. I was one of 6 kids. My dad started out as a football coach, a high school teacher. My mom was a nurse. And but what happened was my dad loved the outdoors, and he rented a house when we first moved. We lived in a small town till I was 6. And then we moved up right at the base of Mount Hood in Oregon. And back then there was no people there. So this kind of area, this place right here is the way I grew up. I mean, I had 3 brothers and 2 sisters, and we hunted and we fished and we rode our bikes, and we just had such a great time. So for me, in all the things I got to do, I was always loved the outdoors. And what's kind of funny, Trey, is I went to college to become an engineer,
Yeah,
and I graduated as an engineer, right? And my wife looks at me and she goes, "Dave, what's an engineer do?" And I said, "An engineer sits in an office and designs things." And she looked at me and she goes, "How are you going to sit in an office? You're an outdoor guy." And about that time, my dad and my brothers, my dad had quit coaching and teaching, and we started a paving company, and then we bought a rock pit, and I started mining, and that's how I got into mining. Yeah.
so what age were you when you decided you liked mining?
Gosh, it wasn't until after college, really, because I graduated from college, I got an engineering degree, and I was out looking for a job. But when I graduated, I had 3 kids. My oldest daughter was probably, when I started looking for a job in engineering, she was probably 4 or 5. So I've got 3 kids, trying to find a job, and it was really bad time. The economy was real down. It was back in the 80s, and the economy really was bad. So I couldn't find a job, but luckily, where we had an asphalt plant, we were asphalt pavers. The guy went bankrupt that owned the rock quarry. Yeah, so my brothers and myself and my dad bought that rock quarry, and then I never went back to engineering. I just started to run the rock quarry, and it became a pretty big company.
Yeah,
Yeah, and lots of employees, and it was a good life because where the rock quarry was and where I lived and raised my kids was just 10 minutes away. So that was nice.
yeah. So what was some challenges that you do in the gravel business or the mining business?
Gosh, I think always the challenge is people.
Yeah,
Do you like sports?
yeah,
I love sports. I played a lot of football, and I always wanted to be a part of a team. So, like, I played a lot of football, and I enjoyed the team aspect. You like being on a team?
yeah,
Yeah. What's your favorite sport?
football.
Yeah. And that's 11 guys, right? And isn't there usually one leader, like, say, a quarterback?
Yeah.
Or a linebacker? Those guys have to tell everybody else what to do. And when I was playing football, I was always like on defense. I was a linebacker, so I was the guy, all right, Trey, you're doing this, you're going here. This is we're running a 5-3, whatever we called it, Sam Slam, which was like a blitz. And so I got to call the plays. Well, that carried on. You're going to find as you grow up, your sports that you're playing now carries on to your life. And so, like always, my biggest challenge was getting people to understand my view or my what I want to accomplish. Like our company, if we had a big contract to do, right? I got to get everybody on board. We've got to work hard and do this contract.
Yeah.
And it was even the same when I got on Gold Rush. When I got on Gold Rush the very first year, I went up and I was on Gold Rush the very first season, 3 episodes.
Oh.
And when I was up there, I found that they weren't very organized.
Yeah.
There wasn't, a good leader. And so they asked me to come back the second season on Gold Rush. And I told Todd, I said I would do it, but we have to make some changes. And one of the changes I told him is I said, we have to meet together every morning. I want to do a quick Bible study. We would pray. We'd talk about work. And then we'd go out and go to work. And what that did, it formed a team, a bond. So then that way we could overcome, the difficulties of filming, the difficulties of finding gold, the difficulties of the environment, all those things. But I always felt like if you can get a team all focused, doing the same thing, you can be very, very successful. So that was one of the biggest challenges, getting people to follow, your vision of where we want to go.
What's the most gold ounces you ever pulled out of the ground in a season?
When we were in the Yukon Territory, I think it was season 6, we pulled 3,600 ounces. Yeah. At the time, it was probably $5 million worth of gold. Yeah, it was a lot of gold. But we had 15 guys. And Trey, one of the funnest things, some people think that was an accomplishment. But for me, one of the most proud days of my life was when they were interviewing me, and it was right in the middle of the season, and actually towards the end of the season. So there's 15 guys. There was 3 excavators in the pit. There was 8 rock trucks. There was 1, 2, 3. We had there's 15 guys, and there's probably 14 pieces of machine going, right? And I was standing on this hill, and they're filming me, and behind me, the trucks are going like this, and they're loading, and the trucks are going this way, and there's loaders loading the plant, and there's people taking, and it was like a dance. If you've ever watched, people dance, you got to all be in unison, right? It's kind of like harmony, right? Same with a great football play, right?
Yeah.
In football, you need 11 guys. If one guy forgets his assignment and doesn't block, the running back or the quarterback goes down. And so I was on this big bluff, and I'm watching the crew, and it's like a dance. The truck's going this way, gets loaded, it's going this way. This guy's feeding the plant, and we're, and everything is just clicking, man. It's just like, and to me, that was funner than just getting 3,600 ounces, because we pulled the team together.
Yeah.
To me, it was like winning. It's like, I don't know if you could ever say winning a Super Bowl, but it was like winning a big football game.
So what life lesson did you learn from all your challenges?
A life lesson. I think a really good life lesson for anybody, especially young people, as you grow up, don't be afraid to fail, which really requires you to risk something.
Yeah.
Right? So let's say, you're going to be a good athlete, and somebody says, you ought to try, who knows, tennis or pickleball.
Yeah.
And you're going to go, well, I won't be very good at it. No, we aren't very good at it when we start, right?
Yeah.
And so you've got to risk it. You might be a great tennis player, but if you never take that step, you never try, you'll never know how good a tennis player. And so that was with me. When I was at my family business, it was safe. I knew exactly what I was doing. I did it for 35 years. But when they said, you want to go gold mining, I knew nothing about gold. I thought I was a pretty good miner, but when I went gold mining, I found out real quick I didn't know what I was doing. I'll tell you a story. So season 2, we were in season 1, we were in Alaska. Season 2, we go to the Yukon, and Todd had found some ground. And so I don't really know how to mine for gold. I know how to move dirt. I know how to lead people. I know how to run equipment. I know how all that works, but I don't even know where gold lives. Is it laying on the top of the ground? Is it down? So I didn't know. And so we walk out on this big flat piece of ground, and we have to fight our ways through the trees and stuff. And we get out there, and the cameras are behind us, and Todd goes, "Here we are, Dave. From there to there, as far as you can see, this is our land. This is where we're going to mine."
Yeah.
And he looks at me, Trey, and he goes, "You're the expert. Go get it. Tell us what we're going to do." And he goes, "I'll see you later." And he turns around and he walks off. There's cameras right behind me. And in my head, I'm thinking, what have I done? I'm going to look like a complete fool because I don't know how to find gold. And so it was a big risk. I was scared. And but what was fun about it is the audience learned along with me and the crew. They learned how to find gold. They learned where gold lived. They learned about permafrost, and they learned along with me. So what I thought was my failures
Yeah.
was really learning, because then everybody learned along with me where to find gold and how it was going to go.
Mm.
So don't be afraid to risk something.
Yep. So we run an organization named Freedom Youth Foundation. What would you want to tell a foster kid watching?
I think kind of the same thing is, don't be afraid to risk something.
Mm-hmm.
I know foster kids, it's very difficult because, they're probably not with their parents, their biological parents, and then they go to a new house or a new, somebody else's house.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's trusting yourself and having confidence that you can overcome things.
Yeah.
And take that risk, and trust that the people around you are going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think it really is. Don't be afraid of failure.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to take a chance.
Yep. So what would you want to tell a foster kid wanting to get into the mining business?
Wow. I would tell him, don't do it unless you've got a lot of money. It takes a lot of money you can go out and do it recreational. You can go, like here we are in Idaho, and it's beautiful. You can do it on a small scale that doesn't cost you a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you have to do the right things. You can't just go out on somebody's property. I know the man that has these claims. He's a good friend of mine, and I asked permission to come out here and hang out, and he said, "Sure, go ahead." So you got to have permission from the claim owner or the landowner, and then you got to follow the rules. But it still costs a pretty good amount of money.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it's so much fun when you see that first bit of gold in a pan. There's nothing else like it. Hopefully you're going to see some today.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. Thanks for joining me today, Dave.
You bet. I had a lot of fun, Trey.
Me too.
You're a pretty smart young fella.
Thank you.
You asked some good questions, and I really appreciate it. I had fun.
Thanks. I hope you liked this episode of Tuesdays with Trey. I hope you can tune in next time.
All right, Trey, we dug that out for my secret spot up there, okay? I got one pan for you, one pan for me. All right, let's go down here to the water. Okay, this one's yours.
Good.
Go ahead and dump some rock in there. Leave that in there. Just go ahead, it's all right. We'll put a little water in there to get it. Just dump it. All right, good. Okay, the first thing we do is we put it in the water, and what you want to do is get it all wet. So you got to get it all wet, and you got to get your hands dirty. And what you're trying to do is break up all the mud. See all that mud? There could be gold in there. And so you want to get it all nice and wet. Let's get those quads out. All right. Shake it real. You don't be afraid to shake it. Get it really shaken and like that. So try it. The water's cold.
Yeah.
There you go. Doing good. You can even do it real, even violent, more violent. Shake it. So get that gold just drop down to the bottom of your pan. There you go. Now tip it at an angle like this, and then you can start doing that ocean thing. And then what you can do on the back is pull these big ones out, because you know that's not gold. Keep shaking it. Pull those big ones off. There you go. There you go. Now you can start, get that shaken, get that down, and then start to do that kind of thing like I did with the motion of the ocean. There you go. Good. There you go. Here, get a little more water in there when you shake it. Now, shake it. There you go. Get that gold to sink. There you go. Yep. Get a little more aggressive. Let that light stuff go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Now pull it back. Put some more water in there. Shake it. Get that gold to sink. And then do it again. There you go. Okay, now pull it back one more time. There you go. Shake it. And you're trying to get that gold to in the bottom of your pan. There you go. There you go. And pull it back again and pull those big rocks out now. Yeah, get those big rocks out of there.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Okay? All right, keep going. Okay, now let's get a little more gentle because you're starting to. So now we can go a little bit slower. Now you're getting down to where the gold is. So we don't want to get, you got to start going a little more gentle when you get down to the bottom. See how that blonde stuff's going away?
Yeah.
So see how slow I'm going now when you get down to the bottom?
Yeah.
You got to be a lot more gentle so you don't wash that gold out.
There's a lot of red stuff.
That's the garnets.
There's a lot of them.
Yep, it's a lot of garnets. Some people make rings out of garnets and stuff. But this is used for actually, if you get enough of it, you can use it for, they make sandpaper out of it.
Oh.
Because it's real hard. See. There's still that one piece up there. There's a little tiny piece here right there.
Yeah.
See the sunshine back.
Add it to the outtakes.
Where?
Is that one too big?
My squirt gun isn't working. Let's get it all. Let's see if there's any more in this other pan, and then we can put it in a pan and show brought.
I will remember.
Oh,
Dave
there's
Turin.
one more too.
No, let's see
There's
it.
one more right
What'd
there.
you get, Trey? Let's see your haul.
That's good. Oh.
There's one
There
more.
it is.
All right, here.
Let's see, make sure it stays in there. All right, we did it.
Look at that, Trey. What do you say?
Thank
see,
you
dude.
so much.
Let me get a little close up of that. There you go, buddy. Nice.
Let's go, Baba.
Stop.
What's a 401k?
What's a budget?
How does a 401k run?
Yes, you get extra money. Yeah. That's totally important.